Hey, I want you to pause for a second. I want you to forget the headlines, forget the stereotypes, forget the noise, and I want you to ask yourself one honest question. Why are people across the West, doctors, students, ex-pastors, athletes, moms, choosing Islam? Let me tell you something. This isn't about blind faith. This isn't about being born into a tradition. This is about people choosing Islam deliberately, thoughtfully, after study, questions, sometimes even resistance. Why? Let's break it down. No fluff, just facts and insight. Let's get honest here. People are tired of surface level living, the rituals that are empty, the traditions that feel hollow, the answers that never really answer anything. And when someone's looking for meaning, real meaning, they don't want a sugar-coated answer. They want something that speaks to the soul. That's where Islam is coming in strong, especially in the West. You see, one of the biggest reasons Islam is growing isn't because of pressure or persuasion. It's because when people encounter it, they recognize something that's been missing: authenticity. There's a raw honesty in Islam. It doesn't pretend to be trendy. It doesn't shift its values with the culture. It offers a way of life that's consistent, rooted, and deeply personal. And in a world where people are constantly performing, especially online, that kind of spiritual sincerity hits hard. Take prayer, for example. In Islam, prayer is not just something you do once a week in a group. It's 5 times a day, just you and God. No priest, no choir, no emotional buildup, just a quiet, disciplined act of connection. You face the same direction, you say the same words taught over 1,400 years ago, and every move has meaning, down to the way you raise your hands, bow, and prostrate. It's not performance, it's presence. And people who discover Islam often say it's the first time they've ever felt like they were really talking to God, not talking about God. And that's just one part of it. Fasting during Ramadan, that's not about starving. That's about control, self-restraint, mind control, soul control. For 30 days, Muslims all over the world shut off autopilot. They stop eating, drinking, even saying certain things from dawn till sunset. And it resets everything. It's not some random detox. It's deliberate. It's about realizing how strong you are when you rely on something greater than yourself. It's about putting spirituality back in the driver's seat. This resonates especially with people in the West, where the pace of life is constant, the expectations are crushing, and the spiritual life, if it exists at all, often feels disconnected. People are exhausted. They've been told to chase happiness in productivity hacks, shopping carts, or wellness apps, but they're still coming up empty. And so when they find a system that tells them, hey, your creator knows you better than anyone, submit to that, and you'll finally find peace, that feels like a radical breath of fresh air. And here's what else is striking. The structure of Islam is liberating, not limiting. From the outside, it might look rigid. Pray at these times, eat these foods, dress this way. But once people start living it, they say the opposite. They say it simplifies everything. You don't waste energy on guesswork. You don't feel like you're reinventing your values every week. You live with purpose. You walk with clarity. So when we say Islam is growing in the West, this is a big part of why. People aren't just finding a religion. They're finding alignment between heart and action, between intention and behavior. And in a time where so much feels fake or forced, that kind of authenticity, it's not just refreshing, it's transformed. Let's be real. Loneliness is an epidemic in the West. People are more connected than ever through social media, but at the same time, they're more isolated than ever in real life. You can have 500 friends online and still feel like no one really knows you. That sense of community we all crave, for a lot of people, it's just not there anymore. And that's one of the most powerful reasons Islam is growing in the West. It offers something people are desperate for: belonging. Now, this isn't just casual socializing. This is deep, meaningful, day-to-day support. When someone becomes Muslim, they're often surprised by how quickly they're embraced. not just with a welcome message, but with real connection. People offer rides to the mosque, meals get delivered, strangers become like family. It's a level of care and presence that many people haven't experienced before, sometimes not even in their own biological family. And it's consistent. It's not once a year on a holiday. It's every Friday at the mosque. It's every Ramadan night at the iftar table. It's every time you say salam to a fellow Muslim, even one you've never met before. Think about that. There's a built-in greeting, peace be upon you, that every Muslim gives to every other Muslim alone creates an instant human bond. Doesn't matter your race, your background, your income. You could walk into a mosque in London, New York, or Paris, and you're treated like a brother or sister in faith. That kind of unity, it's rare. And people who've never had that before, they feel it right away. And here's something else that hits hard. The Muslim community prioritizes togetherness. Islam doesn't just encourage community, it requires it. The Friday congregational prayer isn't optional. It's a weekly gathering where people check in with each other. It's not just prayer, it's connection. You're shoulder to shoulder with people from all walks of life, facing the same direction, praying to the same God. There's no VIP section. Everyone stands equal. And that physical reminder that we are one is deeply grounding. During Ramadan, this sense of togetherness multiplies. Every night, communities come together to break their fast. Mosques overflow with people. Strangers pass out dates and water. Families open their homes to guests. And if you're alone, you won't stay that way for long. Someone will notice. Someone will invite you in. That's the culture. That's the default. Now imagine you're someone who has felt invisible most of your life, someone who's never been part of something bigger, and suddenly you find yourself welcomed into a global family of 2 billion people, not just in name, but in action. You're seen, you're valued, you matter. That kind of belonging changes lives. Even beyond the rituals, the Muslim community emphasizes service. There's a constant push to help others, whether it's through charity, volunteering, or just showing up for someone in need. And when you give back like that, it doesn't just help the person you're serving, it heals something in you too. It builds self-worth. It builds connection. It reminds you that you're not alone. And let's not ignore the emotional and mental health side of this. Studies have shown that having a strong, supportive community directly reduces anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. Islam provides that. Converts often say it's the first time they've had a network that really cared, not for what they do, but for who they are. So when people ask why are so many in the West turning to Islam, this is one of the biggest reasons, because in a world full of division, Islam offers unity. In a society drowning in individualism, Islam says, you belong here. And for many people, that's not just compelling, it's life-changing. Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention, how confusing religion has become for a lot of people in the West. For many, it feels like belief is this big, complicated puzzle. Contradictions in scripture, shifting moral stances, unclear theology, historical edits, and unanswered questions. And when you're genuinely looking for truth, that confusion becomes exhausting. You start to wonder, is there anything out there that just makes sense, that doesn't change every few decades, that has one message, one system, one God? That's where Islam steps in. And this is a huge reason it's growing so fast in the West, because it's not just spiritual. It's clear. The theology is simple, unchanging, and deeply logical. Islam teaches that there is only one God, no partners, no intermediaries, no divine family tree, just one creator, one message, one book. For people coming from backgrounds where belief feels like trying to solve a riddle, this kind of clarity is incredibly refreshing.